Today, our first topic is brought to us by FanDuel. Guys, the Super Bowl is right around the corner, less than 2 weeks away. And just like for the rest of the playoffs, FanDuel is giving customers a chance to win profit boost packs on the Super Bowl. Just make a bet like normal, but on Super Bowl Sunday, you'll find some profit boost pack options in your FanDuel app. It's a chance for you to win even bigger payouts. So head over to FanDuel.com, America's #1 sportsbook, and get in on the action. All right, guys, let's start with the latest in the Browns head coaching search. The Browns brass flew out to Los Angeles yesterday to interview Nate Scheelhaase, the passing game coordinator of the Los Angeles Rams. And then we got a bit of a back and forth here during the sit-down interview with Nate Scheelhaase. The first tweet came from Adam Schefter, who said, during the interview with the Cleveland Browns, the Buffalo Bills have requested to interview Nate Scheelhaase for their head coaching job. He's currently interviewing in person for the Browns head coach job, with the Bills now on deck. A few minutes later, Schefter tweeted they completed their interview, and now he's expected to interview via Zoom. He ended up interviewing with the Bills. That interview concluded around 10 p.m. Eastern time, so quite a long day for Scheelhaase. But, Bull, when you look at the situation, the Browns brass flying to L.A. to sit down with Scheelhaase, then the news of the Buffalo interview coming out midway through that sit-down in-person interview. Why do you think the Browns weren't able to close a deal with Scheelhaase? Is it something the Browns did? Is it simply Buffalo and the opportunity that presented that came up at the last minute? It feels like all the cards were aligned for that to be their guy, and they left L.A. without a deal. What say you?
I mean, obviously we're just guessing. It's hard to give the Browns the benefit of the doubt, but I don't want to just always say, oh, they're so stupid, that's why this is happening. The reality is, if you're any coach and Buffalo is interested in you, whether that other team is the Browns, the Cardinals, the Raiders, or almost anybody else, you have to listen. Mm-hmm. I just feel like no matter what and maybe the Browns didn't offer anything, but you have to listen if the Bills are the team that wants to talk to you. So I'm not going to kill the Browns for that. Obviously, there's rumors that both Grant Udinski, especially, and to some degree Nate Scheelhaase, are not happy with the fact that Jim Schwartz is being forced on them. I've said from the beginning I don't like it, and as soon as I said that, people got mad at me and said, they're not forcing him, they're not forcing him. It appears they are. Maybe it turns out it won't be. But it appears they are, and even though Jim Schwartz is a good coach, I believe good managers hire people that they think are good. Otherwise, why would you hire them? And then allow them to do their job. And to me, part of being the head coach is picking your assistant coaches. Even if the guy you lose in Jim Schwartz is a good coach. I think if you trust the head coach you hired, you obviously thought he was a better choice than Jim Schwartz to be the head coach, so trust him. So that might be factoring in, but obviously I'm just guessing at this point. But I will say before, and I know we'll get to it, but for whoever goes next, that there's no way you can sell the fans on Jim Schwartz being the Browns' first choice if he ends up being the head coach.
We're gonna get to that. Yeah. I promise you we'll get to that. Ty, what do you make of the fact they flew out to LA and didn't close the deal with Scheelhaase?
I mean, it was a bummer. I mean, everybody was kind of expecting that to be the case. But, I mean, like Bull said, it's good business. First of all, when you look at these 4 jobs that's remaining, the Browns are either dead last or second to last as best available options there. So it's only right for a guy to go out there and see what the best job has to offer in Buffalo. I mean, if he goes and wows them and they want to make him his guy, it doesn't matter what the Browns offer. That is a better opportunity. I think everybody can agree that the Bills' job is the best opportunity that you have. It was like the second, it was tied for first as one of the best jobs. So if he gets that opportunity, he can see himself having a ton of success there much faster than he could with Cleveland. So I don't blame him for saying, hey, I'm going to go listen to what Buffalo has to offer if that was the case. Now, it was up to the Cleveland Browns to make the Godfather offer to try to discourage him away from that. But I think that if you just look at the situation, like this is my first chance to be a head coach. And the Cleveland Browns job, I keep telling you, is not the most attractive thing. You're going into next year automatically saying that you're not going to be a playoff team. And I keep telling you, people get like 2 years before people get tired of them and want them fired. So you're going down with one arm tied behind your back, saying that next year is not going to be the year. Then you got to try to make something happen the following year after that, and that's highly unlikely as well. So now you starting off the third season in the doghouse, and you got to try to make something happen. So to me, I just feel like it's only right for him to go entertain other things because they are already in place to be successful. And I'm not mad at him for that at all. And if we'll get to Jim Schwartz, I think, but if they get to Jim Schwartz, I'm with Bull. You ain't selling me that was the first choice.
No way.
I just want G's 2 cents on the Scheelhaase, then we'll pivot and talk Schwartz. But G, just on the fact that they flew out the Scheelhaase.
Before we pivot, and I don't know about the whole, they're forcing Jim Schwartz on anybody. My thing with that is, we said all along that if you hire the best guy that's best for the job, no matter what comes with that. If Jim Schwartz has to go because of that, that's right. So be it. You have to do that, but you can't. If those two guys' philosophies don't mix, you don't want that type of stuff in a locker room on a team. Like, again, that's why I say if you're gonna get rid of Kevin, you have to just get rid of everybody. I'm not a fan of keeping people around because it's two different philosophies, it's two different styles, it was two different ways. It's a different way that people already seen. Like Jim Schwartz already seen what success looked like when he was here his first year, all the things that they did. So in his mind and in players' minds, they feel like that's what you got to do to be successful. So if Nate Scheelhaase isn't running things like that, then they're going to say, oh, this is not going to work. And I just don't think that you want that type of stuff going on. So that's why, to me, I'm a fan of just getting rid of everybody, no matter what.
G, thoughts on Scheelhaase? Then we'll get to Schwartz. But they flew to LA to interview with him, and he did not take the offer. Do you blame that more on the fact that Bill's job came into fruition, or something the Browns may have messed up along the way?
That's what he was supposed to do. This is everything that we've been watching. We've been watching it from a lens of the Browns wanting to get a coach, or the Browns picking specific coaches, or what do you think is best for the Cleveland Browns? But when you look at the totality of it, all these candidates are individuals that are going to try to do exactly what they need to do to push up the price, to push up the power, to make sure that they're in the best position to land where they need to go. So when he does the interview, it's not a guessing game. All of a sudden, now the Bills say, oh, well, we want to interview you now too. And they do it reportedly during the same interview that they're talking with the Browns. So, when that comes out, he has to do his due diligence to go see what the Buffalo Bills is talking about. And it may come down to money or power, but this is very simple to me. Why he's going to go visit the Bills is because the job requires less heavy lifting. If you look at it, if you were to offer somebody a job and you look at the roster and you look at what's going on there, you say, this is a team who just went to the AFC championship. Right? Or it was just almost not in the championship, but they was in the divisional round. This team is a ready-made team that the organization feels like they can win a Super Bowl. If you got an opportunity and the money is relatively the same, whatever the case may be in terms of the infrastructure, and you get to go where you have a solidified quarterback, you got a solidified guy in the backfield who James Cook is one of the best backs, and you're a passing game coordinator, that's what you do for a living? What, heck, you don't want to take that job, and I'm going to do that interview. That's a no-brainer. Let's cook. And so what he's going to do is he's going to go to the Bills and say, all right, well, this is what the Browns offered me. And if the Browns offered him something crazy, now he can still go to the Bills, counter offer, get based on what the Browns offered, more money, a little more power, a little more extra seasoning on the top. And then guess what? I got a team next year that I'm going into the season with, where I think that I got a good chance starting off in my first job to win a Super Bowl. Anybody's going to look at that.